Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be attempting to beat Pokemon Sapphire using the hardcore Nuzlock rules and using only water Pokemon. Some of the Nuzlock rules for this challenge are going to be slightly modified for this video, but I'll pop the rules up here on the screen. But with that, let's continue with the video. We start off this run like most people do by meeting Birch. He tells us what a Pokemon is, and then he asks us if we're a boy or a girl. I pick boy, and then he asks us for a name, and I name myself 8-Bit. If you didn't know, 8-Bit animation was the way they animated these games, and that's sort of the lore drop behind my name. Kind of crazy that our mom has shoved us in the back of this van, and with all this furniture, kind of worried about safety precautions, but we hop out of the van, and we get to see our new house. Our mom comes out and tells us to come look inside the house, and after doing that, we are able to go get our starter Pokemon. Once we find Birch, he's being chased around by a level 2 Poochyena, so we need to help him out by defeating this Poochyena. Obviously, my starter is going to be Mudkip because it's a water-only Nuzlock, so I choose Mudkip as my starter, and then we're ready to defeat this Poochyena. After defeating this Poochyena, Birch tells us to come with him to his lab, and he tells us that we can keep Mudkip. He asks us if we want to nickname Mudkip, so I give Mudkip the nickname Muddy. Also, I don't think I mentioned this in the rules, but you have to nickname every single Pokemon you catch in a Nuzlocke. But with that out of the way, let's battle May. Your rival in this generation definitely leaves something to be desired because she's always kind of underleveled, and her Pokemon are pretty easy to push over. I start out with a tackle doing more than half to Trico, and then one more tackle takes him out. Even though the Nuzlocke doesn't technically start until we get Pokeballs, I decided to level up just a little bit more just to be safe, because it would be really embarrassing losing to May. We finally head back to Birch's lab, and then Birch gives us the Pokedex. Soon after that, May gives us our Pokeballs, so this Nuzlocke has officially begun. Our first encounter is a Lotad. Lotad is a water and grass type, so Lotad will actually probably be pretty useful in this run. I give Lotad the nickname Lily and misspell it the first time. Then our next encounter is Surskit. Surskit was actually really hard to find since he is a 1% encounter. I give Surskit the nickname Lil Surfer, and now we can go see my dad. Well, not my actual dad, you know what I mean, the dad in the game. We finally get to go see him, and then Wally comes in and asks for a Pokemon. Next, our dad gives him his Zigzagoon and asks us to go with Wally so that Wally can catch a Ralts. Since Ralts is a 4% encounter, of course Wally found it on his first try. Doesn't mean, though, that Ralts will be really difficult to deal with later. Next, we have to defeat this Team Aquaglunt who's trying to steal papers or something, and we are able to defeat him pretty easily because all he has is a level 9 Poochyena. Soon after that, Lily grows to level 14 and evolves into Lombre. This will be really useful for Roxanne, so let's go ahead and defeat her. Roxanne starts off with her Geodude, and I start off with Muddy. Muddy gets an immediate one-hit KO with Water Gun, but I doubt it'll be the same story for her Nosepass. Next, I decide to switch into Lily. I decide to use Absorb, which leaves something to be desired, and then I get hit with a Rock Tomb, lowering my speed. Next turn, I get hit with a Rock Throw, and I get brought below half. Luckily, Absorb heals some, and then I get Nosepass into the red. I know Roxanne is going to heal here, so I switch into Muddy. Surskit is pretty much useless in this battle because he is a part bug type, so if he gets hit with one rock move, then he's basically guaranteed to be knocked out. Muddy keeps just on using Water Gun, which is a little bit more powerful than Absorb. Then I use Mud Slap to lower Nosepass's accuracy, and then I just keep using Water Gun. One more Water Gun is able to take out Nosepass, and Muddy wants to learn Bide, but that move kind of stinks if I'm being honest. Next, we get the Stone Badge from Roxanne, and I do have to admit that was a pretty close battle. Next, we see an Aquaglunt stealing something from this guy again, so we have to go help him. While battling some trainers, Muddy evolves into Marshtomp, and this is going to be really helpful for the third gym since Marshtomp is a ground and water type, so electric moves have no effect against him. Next, Marshtomp wants to learn Mud Shot, which is a way better move than Mud Slap. Next, we find out that this Team Aquaglunt has taken more than just some papers. He's also taken a person's Pokémon. and that just can't stand, so we have to go defeat him. This battle was pretty much a piece of cake, and all I needed was Lily, and Lily could take out his Pokemon no problem. I get the Devon goods back, and I also get this old man's Pokemon back too. Next, we also get a free ride to any town we need to, and I will be taking that guy up on his offer. We give the Devon goods back to this guy, and we get the letter that we're supposed to deliver to Steven next. I actually forgot to get this encounter a while ago, but our next encounter is Wingull. Wingull will be really useful for Brawly, since Brawly uses fighting-type Pokemon. I give Wingull the nickname Bluey, and then we go to this guy's house to ask him for a boat ride to Dewford. Once we get to Dewford, we can deliver this letter to Steven, and now we can finally go to Brawly. Now we can battle Brawly. Brawly starts off with Machop, and I start off with Wingull. I use Wing Attack, which is a little less powerful than I was hoping, then Machop uses Leer. Another Wing Attack gets Machop into the red, and then Brawly uses a Super Potion. I use Water Gun, and then another Wing Attack, and then one more Wing Attack takes out Machop. Unfortunately, I can't keep Bluey in for Makuhita, but I decide to send out Muddy. Muddy's Mud Shot is really powerful, and it does over half to Makuhita. And then one more Mud Shot can take out Makuhita. That was probably easier than Roxanne, which I was not expecting to say. Next we get the Knuckle Badge and the TM8 from Brawly. Now we can get the Old Rod. Now this might not seem like much, but the Old Rod in this game can catch Tentacool and Magikarp. So that's 2 more Pokemon we can add to our team. First we catch Magikarp, and I give Magikarp the nickname Splashy. Next we catch Tentacool, and I give Tentacool the nickname Glowy. Now we can go to Slateport, and we can fight the next gym. There's a line outside of this museum, so of course I hop in line with everyone else. A line this long means there's gotta be something good in there. We finally get our turn to enter this museum, and there's nothing interesting in here. Next, these Team Aqua Grunts come in here and want to battle. After defeating them, Archie comes in and says, "Hey, stop," and then he leaves. Yeah, that's pretty much all that happened. Next, we're going to battle our rival May. May starts off with Wailmer, and I start off with Bluey. Bluey uses Supersonic, which luckily hits, and Wailmer hits itself in confusion. Next, I switch into Lily. Wailmer tries to use Rollout, but luckily misses. Next, I use Absorb, and then Wailmer hits itself in confusion. I use Absorb one more time, then Wailmer snaps out of confusion, uses Splash, and then I take Wailmer out in one more Absorb. Next out is Grovyle, so I decide to switch into Glowy. Glowy has Acid, which is a poison-type move, so it should do a decent chunk of damage to Grovyle. Grovyle has Quick Attack, but luckily I'm able to take out Grovyle in 2 acids. Next in is Numble, so I decide to switch back into Bluey. May sends out Numble, and then I use Water Gun, which is a one-hit KO because it's quite effective against Numble. Next, outside of the gym, we see Wally. Wally wants to battle it, but his dad isn't sure, so then Wally decides he wants to battle me to prove that he's strong enough to battle this gym. That was a bad choice, kid. We take out Wally's Ralts in 1 Mud Shot. And that's pretty much all there was to this battle. I didn't want that to happen, but he forced me to battle, so sorry, Wally. Next, we're ready to fight Watson. Thank goodness we have Muddy, because if we didn't have Muddy, this gym probably wouldn't be able to be beat with only water Pokemon. Muddy is a part ground type, so all electric moves have no effect against him. Next, I switch into Lily for Voltorb. I use Fake Out, and then I use Nature Power. Next, I use Absorb, which doesn't do a ton of damage, and then, well, Lily gets blown up by Self-Destruct from Voltorb. That really stinks. So that's the first death of the run. Luckily, Magneton is a one-shot with Mud Shot, but that really stinks that we lost Lily. We get the Dynamo badge from Watson, and then he gives us the TM34. Next, we have to put Lily in the dead box, and I have to rename the box to give it the appropriate name. In the last video, I named it Dead, but I decided to just name it L this time. Next, I have to teach Rock Smash to a Pokemon. And guess what? Marshtomp is the only Pokemon in this game that is a water type that can learn Rock Smash. That is actually crazy. If Marshtomp wasn't in this game, we literally could not do this run. Next, Little Surfer evolves into Masquerain. But guys, that's where I'm going to have to leave off the video for today, and if you liked it, please remember to hit that like button because it really helps out the channel and it shows me that you guys liked this video. Part 2 will be coming out really soon, so keep your eye out for that one, and I will see you guys in the next episode.